We'd been friends for years. The kind of friends people assume will stay friends forever. Same jokes, same hangouts, same couch. He was the guy everyone trusted. Girls liked him. Guys respected him. And me? I was the friend who knew too much about him. The one who noticed when his smile stayed a second too long. The one who never crossed the line. Until the night he asked. It didn't happen dramatically. No music. No rain. Just us in my room. Late. Quiet. The world outside already asleep. He sat on the edge of the bed, elbows on his knees. Didn't look at me at first. I need to ask you something, he said. I laughed it off. You sound serious. He nodded, still not looking. I am. Something in his voice made my chest tighten. He finally turned to me. You're, he said carefully. About guys. I waited. He swallowed. I just want to understand. That was the sentence. The one that changed everything. Understand what? I asked. He hesitated. Then said it quickly, like ripping off a bandage. What it feels like. The room went quiet. Not awkward. Not loud. Just heavy. I should have said no. I knew that. Instead, I asked, understand how? He looked down at his hands. Being close, he said. Kissing. Stuff like that. My heart was beating too fast now. You don't have to, I said softly. I know, he replied. But I want to. That's when I realized something. This wasn't curiosity. This was fear pretending to be curiosity. We sat there for a long moment. Neither of us is moving. Then he said, barely audible, will you help me? I didn't touch him right away. I stood in front of him, close enough to feel his warmth, but not close enough to cross the line yet. You can stop any time, I said. He nodded. I know. His voice shook. I lifted my hand slowly, not rushing, not assuming. When my fingers brushed his wrist, he inhaled sharply. Didn't pull away. That was the first permission. I guided his hand instead, showing him how to relax it. Just breathe, I whispered. He laughed quietly, nervous. I feel stupid. You're not, I said, and I meant it. We moved closer without deciding to. Our knees touched, then stayed that way. I could feel his breathing change. Slower, deeper. I've never, he started. I know, I said. When he leaned in, it wasn't confident. It wasn't practiced. It was careful, like he was afraid of breaking something. His forehead touched mine first. We stayed there. Then, finally, our lips met. The kiss was soft, barely there, not rushed, not demanding, just warm. He pulled back immediately, eyes wide. Oh, he said quietly. I smiled, even though my chest felt like it might split open. That's it, I said. That's all. But he didn't move away. Instead, he leaned in again, this time slower. His hand found my shoulder, gripping it like an anchor. The kiss deepened, not intense, not wild, just real. When we broke apart, he laughed under his breath. I don't hate it, he said. That was the lie, because he didn't just not hate it. He wanted it. After that night, nothing was simple. He started sitting closer, texting later, staying longer. Sometimes he'd look at me like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Sometimes like he already knew the answer and was scared of it. One night he asked, do you think this makes me different? I didn't answer right away. It makes you human, I said. He nodded, then leaned his head on my shoulder. That was the moment I knew. He kissed me first the next time. No questions, no excuses, just quiet certainty. When he pulled away, he whispered, don't let me pretend this didn't happen. I promised I wouldn't, but the world isn't kind to promises like that. He still dated girls, still laughed as nothing changed. Only at night did he come back to me. Only in quiet moments did he let himself be honest. One evening, he looked at me and said, I think I lied to myself. I didn't ask how. I think I always knew, he continued. I was just afraid. When he finally kissed me without hesitation, without fear, without checking the door, that's when it stopped being a lesson and started being loved. But love, when it's forbidden, always asks for a price. And sooner or later, he would have to decide whether understanding was enough, or whether he was brave enough to choose it. After that night, he didn't disappear. That was the strange part. Most people would have pulled away, pretended it never happened, buried it under jokes and noise. He didn't. He stayed. He came over like nothing had changed. Same smile, same laugh, but his eyes lingered now. On my mouth, on my hands, on the space between us, like he was always remembering something. We didn't talk about the kiss at first. We watched movies, shared food, sat too close. Every silence felt loud. One night, he paused the movie halfway through. "Can I ask you something?" he said. I nodded, even though my heart already knew it wouldn't like the question. "Do you ever regret being like this?" I took a breath. "No," I said. "Do you?" He didn't answer. That told me everything. He started asking questions after that. Not playful ones, not curious ones, real ones. "What did you feel the first time you liked a guy? Were you scared? How did you know it wasn't just a phase?" I answered honestly. He listened as it mattered. Sometimes he'd sit on my bed while I talked. Too close. His knee would brush mine. Stay there. Neither of us would move. The second kiss happened without planning, without permission, without excuses. We were standing in the kitchen. Late, lights low. I was talking. He wasn't listening. He leaned in slowly this time, gave me time to stop him. I didn't. The kiss wasn't hesitant anymore. It was warm, careful, certain. His hand rested on my arm, thumb brushing gently like he was learning the shape of me. When he pulled back, he whispered, "I think about this more than I should." That's when fear showed up. Not mine. His. He started pulling away in public. Texts became shorter. Smiles became rehearsed. Then one night he showed up angry. At himself. At me. At the truth. "This can't keep happening," he said. I nodded. "You're right." That wasn't the answer he expected. He stared at me. "You're not even going to fight me on it?" I shrugged. "I'm not the one pretending." The words hung between us. Sharp. He left that night. Didn't text. Didn't call. Days passed. I thought it was over. Then he showed up at my door in the rain. Soaked. Breathing hard. Eyes wrecked. "I tried," he said. "I really tried to be normal again." My chest tightened. And I missed you," he whispered. "Every second." I didn't kiss him. Not yet. I stepped closer. "You don't miss me," I said softly. "You miss not lying." He broke then. Not loudly. Quietly. His forehead rested against mine. "I'm scared," he admitted. "I know." That night we didn't rush. We sat on the bed, shoulders touching, breathing in sync. When he kissed me, it was slower than ever, like he was choosing it. After, he rested his head on my chest. Didn't pull away. Didn't apologize. Just stayed. "I don't know what this makes me," he said. I brushed my fingers through his hair. "It makes you honest," I replied. "But honesty has consequences." And he knew it. The next morning, he didn't leave early. He made coffee. Stood too close. Before leaving, he paused at the door. "If I choose this," he said, "I lose people." I met his eyes. "If you don't," I said, "you lose yourself." He nodded slowly, didn't answer, and walked out. I didn't expect to see him there. That's what shocked me most. Not the place. Not the people. Him. The party was loud. Too many voices. Too much laughter. I almost didn't go. Something told me I should have stayed home. Then I saw him. Across the room. Standing with a girl I recognized. Pretty. Confident. Her hand rested on his arm. Casual. Familiar. He hadn't seen me yet. I watched him smile at something she said. And for the first time, I wondered if I'd imagined everything. Then his eyes met mine. The smile disappeared. Not slowly. Instantly. The room didn't feel loud anymore. Felt far away. Like we were standing in our own quiet space, surrounded by noise. He didn't look away. Didn't pretend. just stared at me like he'd been caught breathing. She noticed. Of course she did. She followed his gaze, then looked back at him. "Do you know him?" she asked. He hesitated, just for a second, but I saw it. That pause said more than any confession ever could. "Yeah," he said, quietly. "We're friends." Friends. The word landed wrong, heavy, incomplete. I turned away before I could feel it too deeply. Found a drink, pretended my hands weren't shaking, told myself I'd leave soon. I felt him before I saw him, standing close, too close. "Can we talk?" he asked. Not confident, not calm, honest. We stepped outside. The night air was cooler, quieter, safer. "She's just someone I'm seeing," he said quickly. "It's not serious." I nodded. Didn't trust my voice. "I didn't expect you here," he continued. "I almost didn't come," I replied. Silence fell between us, heavy again. "I tried to do what everyone expects," he said. "Dating her felt easy." I looked at him. "And us?" He swallowed. "Us feels real." That word, real, scared him more than anything. "She asked me who you were," he said. I didn't know what to say. I held his gaze. "So what did you want to say?" He opened his mouth, closed it, ran a hand through his hair. "I wanted to say you're the person I think about when I wake up," he admitted. "And the last one I think about before I sleep." My chest tightened. "But," I asked softly. "But I'm terrified," he said. I stepped closer, not touching, just close enough for him to feel me. "You don't have to be brave tonight," I said. "But you do have to be honest with yourself." He laughed quietly, a sad sound. "You make it sound so simple." "It's not," I replied. "It just hurts less than lying." We stood there for a long moment. Then he said something I didn't expect. "I don't want to hide you anymore." My breath caught. "But I don't know how not to," he added. That's when the door opened behind us. Voices spilled out. Light followed. "The world is creeping back in." She stepped outside, looked at us, really looked, and I saw the realization hit her. Not jealousy, understanding. She turned to him. "Are you in love with him?" she asked. Time stopped. He didn't look at her. He looked at me, like he was asking permission, like he was asking forgiveness. "Yes," he said. The word didn't explode. Settled, quiet, certain. She nodded slowly. "I thought so," she said. Then she walked back inside. He exhaled like he'd been holding his breath his whole life. I stepped closer. This time I touched his hand. He squeezed it, didn't let go. "I don't know what happens now," he said. "I do," I replied. "You stop pretending." He smiled. Not wide, not perfect, but real. That night we didn't kiss in public. We didn't need to. Our hands stayed linked, visible, unhidden. But love doesn't end with one brave moment. And courage doesn't erase consequences. Because the next day, everyone had questions. And not all of them were kind. The questions didn't come all at once. They came slowly. Side glances, lowered voices, texts that started with, "I don't mean to pry," but some people smiled like nothing had changed. Others stopped smiling at all. And him? He tried to act normal, tried to laugh the same, walk the same, exist the same. But I saw it. The way his shoulders tensed. The way he checked rooms before entering. The way he hesitated before reaching for my hand. One afternoon, he showed up quieter than usual. Didn't kiss my cheek like he'd started doing when no one was around. Just sat beside me, too still. "My brother called me," he said. I waited. He asked if the rumors were true. My chest tightened. "And I didn't lie," he replied. His voice was calm, but his hands were shaking. "What did he say?" I asked. He looked away. "That this isn't who I am," he said. "That I'm confused. That I'm embarrassing the family." I reached for him instinctively. He didn't pull away. But he didn't lean in either. "I told him I'm not confused," he continued. "I told him I'm finally honest." Silence settled between us. the heavy kind. Later that night, he got another call. This one lasted longer. When he hung up, his eyes were red. "My dad wants to see me," he said. The next day felt endless. I kept checking my phone. Every vibration made my heart jump. When he finally came back, it was dark outside. He stood in my doorway like he wasn't sure he was allowed inside anymore. I stepped aside, didn't say a word. He sat down slowly, ran his hands over his face. "He said I had a choice," he whispered. My chest tightened. "He said I could stop this," he continued. "Keep my life simple, or keep going, and lose support." I didn't answer right away, because I didn't want to say the wrong thing, because love shouldn't sound like pressure. "I told him I needed time," he said. I nodded. "That's fair." He looked at me then, really looked. "What if I'm not strong enough?" he asked. The fear in his voice hurt more than any insult ever could. I moved closer, sat in front of him, took his hands gently. "You don't have to be strong forever," I said softly. "Just honest today." His breath shook. "What if honesty costs me everything?" I leaned in, forehead to forehead. "Then we'll find out what everything is really worth," I replied. That night he stayed, not because he needed comfort, but because he chose me. The next few days were harder. People whispered. Some friends pulled away. Others surprised us by staying. One evening, someone laughed behind us. Not kindly. He froze. I felt it. The instinct to disappear. Then something changed. He squeezed my hand. Not subtle. Not careful. Firm. Visible. He didn't look back. Didn't explain. Just kept walking. With me. Later, alone, he said, "I used to think love was supposed to feel safe." I smiled sadly. "Sometimes it's supposed to feel true." He nodded, then said the words I'd been afraid to hear. "I don't want to hide anymore," he said, "but I don't know how to live like this." I brushed my thumb over his knuckles. "Neither do I admitted. "But we're learning." He leaned in and kissed me. Slow, gentle, unafraid. No rush, just warmth. That kiss didn't solve anything, but it decided something. Because the next morning, he made a choice that would either set him free or take everything away. The message came early, too early. My phone lit up while the room was still dark. One sentence, no explanation, no emojis, just truth. I told them. I sat up slowly, heart pounding, hands shaking. I read it again and again. I didn't know what they meant. His family, his friends, everyone, or just the people who mattered most. I didn't reply right away, not because I didn't care, but because I knew this moment wasn't about reassurance. It was about choice. An hour later, he showed up. No hesitation, no knocking, just walked in like this was home. He looked different, not happier, not calmer, but lighter, like someone who had finally put something heavy down. "I told my dad," he said. I nodded. "And my brother," I swallowed. "And her," he added. "The girl from the party." I didn't interrupt, didn't rush him. This was his moment. "They weren't all kind," he continued. "Some didn't understand. Some walked away." He looked at me then. "But none of them felt as bad as lying did." I stood up slowly, stepped closer. "Are you okay?" I asked. He smiled, a small one. "I will be," he said. For the first time, I actually believed that. We sat together on the bed, shoulders touching, not hiding, not rushing, just breathing in the quiet after a storm. "I used to think I needed certainty," he said. "A label, a guarantee." I listened. "But loving you never felt confusing," he continued. "Only denying it did." I reached for his hand. He held mine openly, like it was the most natural thing in the world. "Do you remember the first night?" he asked softly. "When I said I just wanted to understand?" I smiled. "I remember. I was lying," he admitted. "I wanted permission." My chest tightened. "Permission for what?" "To stop pretending," he said. "To want you without being ashamed." I leaned in, rested my forehead against his. "You never needed mine," I whispered. "I know," he replied. "But I'm glad it was you." The kiss that followed wasn't urgent, wasn't desperate. It was calm, certain, warm, like coming home. Later, we walked outside together. Daylight, no shadows, no hiding. People passed us. Some stared, some didn't. He didn't let go of my hand once. "I don't know what our future looks like," he said. I smiled. "Neither do I. But I know who I want in it," he added. I squeezed his hand. "That's enough for me." We stopped at the corner, sunlight soft on his face. He looked at me like he wasn't afraid anymore, like love wasn't something to survive, but something to live. He laughed quietly. "You know," he said, "I asked you to teach me." I raised an eyebrow. "And you did," he said, "but not what I expected." "What did I teach you?" I asked. He smiled. "How to be honest. How to choose. How to love without apologizing." And for the first time, there was no fear in his voice, only peace.